You aren't talking out loud just because of a habit. You're doing it the exact moment your brain hits a breaking point that no one else sees. And if you find yourself doing this often, there's a very specific reason behind it. Imagine standing in your kitchen, hearing the faint sizzle of oil as it starts to heat up. Your hands are busy chopping, but your mouth suddenly whispers, "Salt! Don't forget the salt!" You freeze for a second. Something feels off. Did I just say that out loud, you wonder? You used to think it was just a tiny habit, or something a bit weird you'd never want anyone to see. But that moment, it wasn't random. It happened exactly when your internal order started to slip. If you look closely, you'll see it always shows up in the same state. When you're alone, in the middle of a task, and your mind starts to feel cluttered. If you've ever caught yourself doing this, stay with me, because this isn't just talking to yourself. This is how you keep your world from falling apart. And from here, you're going to see exactly how it works. You didn't plan to say it. It just slipped out. Imagine standing in your kitchen, hearing the faint sizzle of oil while your hands are busy chopping vegetables. In that exact moment, you suddenly hear yourself say, "Don't forget the salt," even though there's no one there to listen. You freeze for a split second, feeling the sudden silence of the room press against you. This verbal reflex, this need to speak out loud, happens the moment your brain loses its internal tracking. You instantly start doubting yourself, a flicker of unease creeping in before you even understand what's happening. You start to think something is wrong with you. But that feeling? It doesn't actually come from anything weird at all. This is the moment your mind starts to redline. It isn't loud, but everything begins to shift out of sync. Within a few seconds, you've juggled 3 different thoughts and they've started to collide. One task isn't even finished before the next one pushes its way in. Too much all at once. To compensate, your brain offloads the pressure by forcing those tangled thoughts into a single, linear stream of sound. You aren't speaking to make things clearer. You're speaking because if you don't, you'll lose your place entirely. And the thing is, this doesn't just happen when you're busy working. You only do this when things start to slip through your fingers. Think about those moments when you're frantically digging through your bag, repeating, "Where is it? Where is it?" over and over. Or when you find yourself walking past the exact same spot twice, still searching for what you lost. Sometimes you're just staring at your screen, unable to even make the first move. You're drifting. These verbal cues act as anchors, forcing your brain to refocus and activate a targeted search. If you stayed silent, you'd just keep drifting between unfinished tasks without ever crossing the finish line. This isn't just a habit, it's a survival mechanism keeping you from a total mental collapse. But here's the part you've probably been getting wrong all along. You probably think this habit is one of your greatest strengths, but it's not. You tell yourself you're just thinking out loud, or that it's a sign of deeper intelligence compared to everyone else. It's not. In reality, this is an external control loop your brain creates just to keep things steady. You aren't speaking because your mind is clear. You're speaking because you're about to lose your grip. If you stopped, your internal navigation system would completely fall out of sync. But here's the twist. This exact process gives you something most people will never have. You don't actually need someone else to pull you back when things go south. You can do it all by yourself. Think of the times you've told yourself to calm down while your heart was racing, or when you pushed yourself to start even as procrastination held you back. Alone. This self-talk creates a necessary cognitive distance, activating intentional behavior instead of just reacting to instinct. Not everyone can maintain this internal connection when the pressure starts to mount. You aren't losing control. In fact, you are keeping yourself in control through the power of your own voice. And that's exactly why you keep moving forward, even when your mind is far from quiet. Wait, do you realize what's actually happening in those moments? You aren't talking out loud because it's a habit, or because you just feel like it. You're doing it because your brain has officially hit its limit. When your internal thoughts start colliding, your voice becomes the ultimate pressure valve, keeping everything from spinning out of control. That random sentence you just muttered? That was your mind's desperate attempt to keep from losing its grip in the chaos. You aren't just talking to yourself in the way you might think. You're simply offloading your thoughts to keep them from overlapping. Most people keep everything bottled up inside until it all turns into a mess. But you don't wait for that. You're the type of person who catches the signal early, the second things start to shift out of sync. You don't need perfect silence to stay in control, you just need an anchor. There's a tiny, easily missed moment, when you say something out loud and then hear yourself say it. If you can remember that moment, you'll understand exactly where your mind is. Next time it happens, don't rush to shut it down. Just notice. What did you just say? And what part of your world are you trying to keep from falling? If you've had that exact moment, comment the phrase you find yourself saying most often. And if you want to understand more of these hidden mechanisms, you know where to find me. You might not always control everything in your head, but it seems you've never truly let go of it either.